Monday, the 29th of June, 2026 prediction. Let us dive right into the most terrifying piece of this puzzle, which is the absolute nightmare unfolding for Britt. As we know, she is already suffering immensely, but high chances are the situation is about to turn completely lethal. The unconfirmed leak suggests that Ross has successfully intercepted the medication sent by Cassius and swapped those life saving pills with pure poison. Just let that sink in for a moment, guys. Britt is sitting there in isolation, desperate for relief, completely unaware that the very thing meant to save her is actually a deadly trap designed to end her life. What if she takes that pill the second Rocco hands it to her? The truth might be way more complicated, though. What if Britt uses her medical expertise at the absolute last second? We have to wonder if she will notice something slightly off about the color, the texture, or the packaging of those pills before she makes a fatal mistake. It seems like Rocco is going to be the one unknowingly holding the weapon that could kill her. Imagine the immense psychological trauma that would inflict on that poor boy if he were the one to hand her the poison medication. High chances are Ross orchestrated it exactly this way to punish everyone involved in the most cruel manner possible. But what if Rocco drops the bottle in a moment of panic? What if the pills spill and a stray animal in the islands consumes one, revealing the deadly truth before Britt can ingest it? The behind the scenes whisper is that this scene will be dragged out to the absolute maximum level of suspense. Every time she reaches for that glass of water, our hearts are going to stop. And what if Dante and Lulu burst through the door at the exact millisecond the pill touches her lips? The truth might be way more complicated than a simple rescue mission. They might arrive just in time to watch her collapse, turning this into a frantic fight for her survival. While Britt is fighting for her life, we have another explosive hush hush rumor coming out of France. Anna is finally making her move. The unconfirmed leak points to a daring, high stakes escape from her medical facility. It seems like she has been playing the long game, like pretending to be a docile, cooperative patient, just waiting for the staff to lower their guard. High chances are she has been mapping out the guard rotations, memorizing the security codes, and calculating the exact window of opportunity. What if Felicia's impending visit is actually the perfect distraction? The truth might be way more complicated than a solo escape. What if Anna coordinated this entirely in secret, using coded messages hidden in plain sight? We know Anna is a master spy, but escaping a highly secure facility requires outside help, or at least a monumental stroke of luck and perfect timing. Let us dissect this French escape a little deeper, ladies. What if the doctors at the facility are actually operatives working for a rival agency, and they are letting her escape on purpose to track her movements? It seems like Anna is too smart to just walk out the front door without a backup plan. Hi, chances are she will have to use every ounce of her training to evade capture once she is over the wall. And what if she runs directly into danger the moment she is free? The behind the scenes whisper suggests that Anna's return home will not be a joyous homecoming, but rather a covert infiltration. What if she has to remain a ghost because she discovers that the facility was secretly funded by someone in her own inner circle? The truth might be way more complicated, and this drastic storyline shift could position Anna as a fugitive, trusting absolutely no one, not even her closest allies. Now, let us pivot to the absolute chaos erupting at the police station with Willow. The unconfirmed leak reveals that she is going to be completely blindsided when she discovers that her car data has been tampered with. She is officially the prime suspect in the hit and run, and she realizes she is being framed by a secret, unseen force. It seems like the walls are closing in on her incredibly fast. Hi, chances are she will initially suspect someone obvious, but we all know the real culprits are Brooklyn and Brick. What if Willow manages to hire a cyber expert of her own to trace the digital footprint back to Brick? The truth might be way more complicated. What if Brick left a deliberate backdoor in the code because he felt guilty about helping Brooklyn? This hush hush rumor implies that Willow is going to experience a total breakdown in the interrogation room, realizing someone hates her enough to send her to prison. We have to analyze Willow's fragile mental state right now. She is terrified, cornered, and facing severe criminal charges that could take her away from her children. What if she decides to go on the run to avoid arrest? It seems like she might turn to Harrison for help, which would be the ultimate irony since his own wife is the one who framed her. High chances are Harrison's investigative instincts will kick in, and he will start pulling at the threads of this fake evidence. But what if Brooklyn intercepts his investigation and destroys the final piece of proof? The behind the scenes whisper is that Willow might actually figure out Brooklyn's involvement before Harrison does. Imagine the explosive confrontation if Willow shows up at the mansion and accuses Brooklyn in front of everyone. The truth might be way more complicated, though. What if someone else entirely takes the fall for the hit and run just to protect the family reputation? And speaking of dark benefactors and family secrets, we absolutely must talk about Danny. This young man is about to step into some incredibly deep and dangerous waters. The unconfirmed leak states that Danny is going to seize a crucial, fleeting opportunity that directly connects to the whereabouts of Jason. It seems like Danny is tired of sitting on the sidelines while his father is locked away in custody for a crime Rocco committed. High chances are, Danny intercepts a highly classified transmission or stumbles upon a secret file that reveals Jason is being moved to a black site. What if Danny decides to take matters into his own hands and orchestrates a diversion to intercept the transport? The truth might be way more complicated. What if the intel Danny finds is actually a trap set by the authorities to flush out Jason's remaining allies and capture them all at once? Let us really think about what Danny is capable of here. He has his father's blood running through his veins, which means he is brave, but also incredibly reckless. What if he enlists Charlotte to help him hack into the security grid? It seems like these two teenagers are playing a very deadly game of chess with seasoned intelligence agents. High chances are, Danny is going to bite off way more than he can chew, putting himself directly in the crosshairs of someone ruthless. The behind-the-scenes whisper hints that Danny might actually come face-to-face with one of Jason's oldest enemies during this mission. What if this opportunity is actually a test orchestrated by Jason himself from behind bars, to see if Danny is ready to inherit his dangerous legacy? The truth might be way more complicated, and this drastic storyline shift could mark the official transition of Danny into a hardened operative. Meanwhile, the hunt for Jens is reaching a boiling point. Justine is finally making a decisive move, handing the investigation over to an investigator she deeply trusts, which we all know is Joe. But let us pause and dissect this for a second. It seems like Justine is putting all her eggs in one basket, but is Joe really the hero here? High chances are Joe has his own hidden agenda. What if Joe is actually the inside man who helped Jens escape in the first place, and Justine is unwittingly handing the keys to the kingdom straight to the enemy? The truth might be way more complicated. The hush-hush rumor is that Joe is playing a brilliant double game, feeding the police false leads while secretly keeping Jens informed of their every move. If Joe is truly dirty, then the entire police department is compromised, and nobody is safe from the impending wrath that is about to rain down on the city. At the same time, Laura and Jordan are not waiting around for the police to do their jobs. They are following a brand new, highly promising lead that could take them straight to the hiding place of Jens. The unconfirmed leak suggests they believe he is hiding in plain sight. What if Jens is actually posing as a wealthy investor at a local hotel, or hiding out in one of the abandoned properties on the waterfront? It seems like Laura's intuition is sharper than ever, but high chances are she is walking directly into a trap. What if Jens wants Laura and Jordan to find him? The behind-the-scenes whisper is that this lead was intentionally planted to lure them away from the real target. The truth might be way more complicated. What if the actual plan is to kidnap Laura and use her as the ultimate bargaining chip? Every step Laura takes towards the truth might be a step closer to her own demise. Finally, we need to talk about the explosive tension brewing by the pool between Isaiah and Curtis. The unconfirmed leak indicates that Isaiah is going to publicly and aggressively threaten Curtis, signaling a massive, ugly confrontation. It seems like Curtis has pushed the wrong buttons by throwing baseless accusations around. High chances are Isaiah knows a very dark secret about Curtis, something that could completely destroy his life and his marriage. What if Isaiah is not just a doctor, but someone with deep ties to the criminal underworld who was sent to town for a specific reason? The truth might be way more complicated. What if this threat is actually a warning to back off because Isaiah is trying to protect someone Curtis loves? The hush-hush rumor suggests that Isaiah might have evidence that Curtis was somehow inadvertently responsible for the hit and run, and he is using it as leverage. The ramifications of this clash are absolutely huge. If Isaiah goes public with his threats, Curtis could lose everything he has fought so hard to rebuild. What if this confrontation turns physical, and someone ends up getting severely hurt right there in the middle of a public space? This seems like the writers are setting up a massive rivalry here. High chances are this is just the opening salvo in a long, bitter war between these two stubborn men. But what if there is a shocking twist, and they are eventually forced to team up to survive a mutual threat from Jens? The truth might be way more complicated, and this drastic storyline shift could completely redefine the power dynamics in their social circle. Every single character we love is currently standing on the edge of a massive cliff, and the wind is blowing incredibly hard. We're looking at a week where lives will be lost, freedom will be stolen, and the innocent will be dragged through the absolute mud. But before you get too comfortable thinking you have it all figured out, let me leave you with this one final, terrifying thought. If you think the poison, the escapes, and the frame-ups are the worst things coming our way, you are completely blind to the real monster hiding in the shadows, waiting to strike when they least expect it.